Namaskar, this is Bhola Kumar Sona, DCBM and Mumbai. Now I am with one of the corporate chef who is ex Oberoi as well as the brain behind MOD. So let's welcome Chef Shrikanth Walmiki.
Hi.
Hello Shrikanth, how are you?
All well, all well, all well.
So this is the podcast with you, and we need to understand about not the chef Shrikanth Walmiki but the brand Shrikanth Walmiki. So can you just give the introduction to my viewers?
Okay.
What exactly brand Shrikanth Walmiki?
So I'll just go back, starting with where I have studied.
Okay.
So dad was in the central government.
Okay.
So we have traveled across India and probably completed my schooling being in around 5 odd schools.
Okay.
Post that, got into hotel management and aeronautical engineering.
Oh.
So I chose hotel management because dad was director of Santa Cruz Airport. Brother had gotten into Pavanans, becoming a pilot for helicopter. So I wanted to choose a different line.
So it's a industry luck. It's not your luck.
Yeah. So I chose that, completed my 3-year hotel management from Dada Catering College. It's one of the most premium institutes in Asia, not just India.
Okay.
So passed out in 93 and then got selected on campus for the Oberoi. So there I underwent training in various departments, then specialized in bakery confectionery and Conti. Spent around 5.5 years there. Finished that, and then we had a transport business,
Okay.
car rentals.
So that was your family business.
Family business that was there. We had around 25 plus cars around that period of time.
Oh.
Brother was finding it difficult, so I thought to pay attention to that, to build that business. Spent a year there, and then I always felt I am a qualified chef. Wanted to get back to my field, so I came back and then I joined the Oberoi Flight Services.
Oh.
So completely different experience from a hotel. Here bulk cooking, hygiene is very intensely taken care of there. It's very process driven. Everything is documented. So a different learning experience being in the flight kitchens. I was the person who did the initial menu for Kingfisher Airlines then and Jet Airways for all the metro cities. I opened the Chennai flight kitchen for the bakery confectionery section.
Okay.
There, the launch part of it. So when I was doing Oberoi's flight services, there was a demand that came for croissants to be veg.
Okay, veg croissants.
Then it was heavily into eggs, as
Yeah.
you know. So they wanted to introduce croissants for the economy class. So eggless was a huge debate that happened. Took us some time. So we were me and my team were the pioneers who worked around tirelessly to get a eggless croissant ready.
Okay.
So this was way back in 2004. We cracked the formula, and then today everywhere eggless croissants are there. So that was part of it. 2007, I had completed 6 years. Then retail was just happening in India. The boom that was happening in retail. So I felt I had done hotels, then the flight kitchens. So I said I wanted to experience retail, and the whole idea was for someday to open our own cafe.
Okay.
Okay. So to get that experience, that's what was there. So then around that period of time, I was looking to leave Oberoi's. I was in Chennai. The chef was there, Chef Himanshu, who headed the Chennai flight kitchen. He connected with me and he said, there's a brand called Cakewalk in Bangalore and Chennai. They are facing some issues and they would like you to come and have a look at it and work upon their brand. So this brand was opened by a chef, ex-star chef.
Okay.
And he had a partner. When I met him, he said, I do not get time to from the business to look into the product and other things.
Yeah, it's quite difficult sometimes, managing the two things at the same time.
And he said, what are the latest trends and everything is not something that I'm up to date with. So we'd like that to be introduced. So I spent around 3 months there, overhauled the entire systems, did the menu, everything that day. Finished that, took it as a project and came back. That's when I applied for Madavo Donuts, and there was a mistake in the email ID,
Okay.
due to which that mail went directly to the owner
Oh.
of the Madavo Donuts.
Uh,
So he liked my profile. We met. It was a 4-hour discussion where we went around. He asked me whether donuts would do well in India. My initial answer was no. Because I'd seen donuts mostly in hotels, served in breakfast and all, but not actually seen as a
retail outlet,
thing.
yeah.
So I did say that it will not work. And yet we sat down, we had a discussion, and then I was on board to that. When we opened Madavo Donuts, it was a very delicate product. So it gave us a lot of issues, challenges of working with it. Something that I had not experienced in 5-star hotels when we did that. And this was an eggless donut. Again, donuts are heavily in eggs. So we worked around that. Again, the entire recipe development had taken around 18 months because the whole idea was to have a process-driven product. So retail works in a very process-driven, SOP-driven.
You mean to say you said that it took around 18 months to develop a single recipe?
Yes, the base recipe in Singapore took around 18 months.
Okay.
So the guy who advised the Bush administration, US Wheat, he was the food technologist who worked along with the chef in Singapore to develop it. So any of the retail products that you look at, for example, McDonald's, Subways or anything, it's a very process driven. A lot of time is given to develop the product. Until it's stabilized, they do not introduce the product into the market. So that's what was done. And there I had joined as a chef. So I knew what a chef does. But again, as it was process driven retail, a smaller kitchen, a lot of challenges were there. So that's where I started going 360 degrees. So I got into hiring, I got into uniform designing, construction of outlets, logistics. Then we used to get all our ingredients from Singapore. So importing those things, looking at the distribution part of it, getting into costing. So corporate chef, as a chef, I did my job that was there, but I got a chance to learn and grow everything. How branding happens, how marketing happens, how we open a store, everything.
Right.
So everything evolved, and for 5.5 years, we did various products there, which were cupcakes, waffles, coffee, cold beverages, everything we worked around. So after 5.5 years, 60 outlets, 4 cities, I felt I wanted to get into consultancy
Okay.
and create other brands, because I had done donuts for 5.5, 6 years, and then the whole idea,
Quite enough duration.
that was there.
Yeah.
So that's when I started venturing into the consultancy part of it. So I've done various brands across that is there. So I've done ice cream, I've done cafes, I've done cold kitchens, cloud kitchens that we call. So had a good experience of doing those things, and then again I do a 360 degree way, selecting the location, concept development, the R&D of the product, hiring, everything. And then there are people who just want a certain aspect of the project to be done for them. So that was an experience that really worked. And evolving and working with these brands, something that we understood was a lot of people are passionate about food and they want to open, but they do not know how to go about the entire process.
Right.
So that's where we come in.
Right. True.
And we help them to. And there have been a lot of instances where I've met people, we've had our initial interactions. So especially a lot of youngsters coming to us. 2-3 friends saying that we want to open something, that they have a vague idea because they've traveled in Europe, other places. But when it comes to reality, it's not that easy building something of
True.
your own. So I do advise them and say that I would like to meet your parents.
Okay.
So then I meet the parents and then I sit down and tell them the realities of opening a cafe and the challenges that are there, so that they take a well-informed decision before putting in their money into that venture.
Right.
So, you should weigh all the pros and cons before you get into that. It's not easy starting anything, including an F&B place.
Right.
So that has been the journey for me. So I've done that. And then this opportunity with the Galaxy Cloud Kitchen Cafe, which is part of Future Group.
Okay.
So they've got huge commissaries across 5 cities. So the smallest was around 3,500 square feet and the largest was 1.5 lakh square feet.
Oh, wow.
So they were into B2B business. So all their own brands, whatever food requirement was there, we produced and give. For example, Big Bazaar, Hypercity, Easy Day, Food Hall. So all the food was prepared.
Kind of the
there.
contract manufacturing, or they just supply as a supplier of
So
the food?
there is basically a contract. So
Okay.
Galaxy was also Future Group. Big Bazaar is also Future Group,
Okay.
but we are 2 different P&L verticals that were there. So we sold
it.
to them. They were our customers.
Okay.
And then we did B2B supply to a lot of known brands like Cafe Coffee Day, Birdies, the
Yeah.
cake shop that are there. So typically Mumbai itself had a 32,000 square feet kitchen where we daily produced around 21 trucks of food, which was dispatched in the morning. Huge commissary,
Yes, yes.
and probably we did around 4,500 SKUs.
Oh.
So the entire thing to do that very, very complicated. And the best thing was there was an app in the logistics where you could track where your trucks went, what was the temperature, how many times the doors got opened.
Oh, even the opening of doors as well. counted.
Everything was caught by the app, and we knew if anything went wrong,
Yeah.
to figure out.
That's required. I think it's related to the what do you call that HACCP
standards that are there. So tracking these things, a lot of evolvement happened in understanding how bulk commercial kitchens work. Flight kitchens were completely separate. This was a B2B business that was there. Now I'd like to mention something that happened here, which I was purely hired upon. So B2B business, the food cost ranges around 50-55% allowed.
Okay.
Typically QSR is 20, your restaurants are around 28-30, fine dines are slightly higher. This is higher because it's through B2B, it's contract manufacturing, they are bulk orders, it's set.
Yeah.
I mean, you're only manufacturing once the order is come.
Right.
Okay, you're not doing any mise en place or anything ready to do that. So,
Very low wastage are there.
so that's where the challenge was there. So when I entered this place was running for around 20-25 years. Different management. We took over around 4-5 years ago. When I joined, the food cost was running around 73-74%, 20% higher. To give an example, each percent we were losing around 2 to 3 lakh rupees per month. So that into 20. 50-60 lakhs. That was a huge amount. So I was given this mandate to look into it and figure out how to come down. So when I sat down, a lot of chefs do create recipes and all. I do always believe to actually do the recipe in the kitchen. So measure, do everything.
Everything on practical
Especially
basis.
in bulk production.
Okay.
I know it's very difficult in restaurants and other. QSR, it is very possible. So even in this, we sat down, we figured out, and then we, section-wise, we looked at departments. Okay. So when we looked at bakery, hot kitchen, and confectionery, we did the costing separately and saw. Then we figured out where we were losing.
Okay.
And then we were able to get the food cost down. So that worked. A couple of other things that I did with the Galaxy was 7-Eleven was coming into India, and then we had to do a menu for it. So street food
Okay.
being sold in a AC hygienic place.
Oh.
That was the mandate. So a vada pav to a pulao to a biryani to idli, any
Okay.
of those very things. So the whole idea is 7-Eleven is you enter, you order, within 2 minutes you are served
Okay.
and you're out.
Oh.
So that's how 7-Eleven worked, and then I worked on a frozen format for cloud kitchens. So this is something that we had to work very